Hello, and welcome to a different kind of podcast. In our hyper-connected 24/7 world, it's no secret that we are more stressed than ever. Globally, anxiety disorders are the most prevalent mental health condition. And here's a startling fact. It's estimated that only about 1 in 4 people suffering from an anxiety disorder receive any kind of treatment. That's a huge number of people navigating the world with a constant, low hum of worry in the background. But what if you could do more than just listen to a podcast to unwind? What if you could use the next 20 minutes to plant a set of powerful, time-tested ideas in your mind, and then let your brain's own natural overnight processes strengthen them while you sleep? This isn't science fiction. It's based on some fascinating neuroscience. Research from institutions like the National Institutes of Health shows that sleep is essential for what scientists call memory consolidation. As we sleep, our brain sifts through the day's experiences, strengthening important memories and linking them to earlier ones. The deep, slow-wave stages of sleep, in particular, seem to cement new information into the architecture of the brain, making you less likely to forget it. Some studies even suggest this process can reduce the emotional intensity of memories, helping us process difficult feelings. Scientists have even experimented with a technique called targeted memory reactivation, where they found they could selectively improve a person's memory by re-exposing them to sounds associated with learning while they slept. So tonight, we're going to try our own version of that. We're going to load the software before you sleep. And the software we're installing tonight comes from a surprisingly old, yet incredibly relevant source: Dale Carnegie's 1948 classic, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. It's a book full of timeless wisdom that modern science is only now beginning to fully validate. So, get comfortable, quiet your mind, and prepare to give your brain a powerful new operating system for dealing with worry. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Power of Today. Living in Day. Tight compartments. The first and most fundamental idea from Carnegie is perhaps the simplest, yet the most profound. He urges us to live in what he calls day-tight compartments. Imagine your life as a great ocean liner. On the bridge, there are buttons that can operate huge watertight doors. With one press, you can seal off the past, the dead yesterdays. And with another, you can seal off the future, the unborn tomorrows. The goal, Carnegie says, is to sail through the next 24 hours in a single, secure, day-tight compartment. This doesn't mean ignoring the future. It means the best way to prepare for it is by doing today's work with all your energy and focus. This might sound like an old-fashioned platitude, but it is a strategic tool for making overwhelming goals achievable. It combats the paralysis of long-term anxiety by focusing all of one's energy on the only thing we can actually control: the present moment. Consider the incredible story of Chris Nikic. In 2020, Chris became the first person with Down syndrome to complete an Ironman triathlon, a grueling 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, and a 26.2-mile marathon. Chris faced enormous challenges, including open-heart surgery as a child, struggles with balance, and low muscle tone. So how did he conquer such a monumental task? His philosophy wasn't to complete an Ironman. His goal, every single day, was simply to get 1% better. He lived in a day-tight compartment. He focused only on the task of today One more push-up, one more lap, one more minute on the bike, knowing that the cumulative effect of these small daily actions would compound into a radical transformation. His success wasn't born from a once-in-a-lifetime transformation, but from the product of daily habits. By focusing only on today, he built the future he wanted. This approach transforms a vague, anxiety-inducing goal into a concrete, empowering daily practice. Chapter 2. The Fear-Dissolving Formula. So, we can focus on today. But what about when a specific terrifying worry breaks through those day-tight doors? For this, Carnegie offers what he calls a magic formula for analyzing and dissolving fear. It's a simple 3-step analytical process. First, ask yourself, what is the absolute worst that can possibly happen in this situation? Don't shy away from it. Look it right in the eye. Second, prepare yourself mentally to accept that worst-case scenario, if you have to. This step is crucial. It brings a sense of release, a strange kind of peace, because you stop fighting the inevitable and free up your energy. Third, from that point of acceptance, calmly devote your time and energy to trying to improve upon the worst-case scenario you've already accepted. This formula might seem overly simplistic, but its power is demonstrated in one of the most extreme environments imaginable. Retired astronaut Chris Hadfield tells the story of his first spacewalk. He was outside the International Space Station, orbiting the Earth at 5 miles a second, holding on with just one hand, looking down at the jaw-dropping gorgeousness of the turning orb. And then, his left eye slammed shut in great pain. He was suddenly blind in one eye. In the zero gravity of space, tears don't fall. They form a ball. The blob of liquid grew larger and larger until surface tension pulled it across the bridge of his nose and into his other eye. He was now completely blind, floating in the void of space. The natural reaction is panic, but Hadfield didn't panic. He calmly reported the situation to Houston and began working the problem. Why? Because he had already performed Carnegie's 3 steps, long before he ever left the ground. He explains that the key to overcoming fear is to differentiate between danger and fear itself. Spiders, he says, can be dangerous, but most of us are just afraid of them. The way to conquer that fear is to walk into a spider web, to study the danger, to understand it, and to practice for every conceivable eventuality until the fear is replaced by competence. He and his fellow astronauts had already confronted the worst-case scenario, death, and had trained relentlessly for thousands of hours to improve upon it. His calm wasn't an innate trait, it was earned. True confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the presence of competence. Carnegie's formula is a practical method for building that competence, disarming fear's power to paralyze you by systematically eliminating the unknown. Chapter 3. The Law of Substitution. Crowding out worry. Carnegie builds on a simple psychological tenet. The human mind cannot effectively focus on more than one thing at any given time. This means an occupied mind simply has no room for worry. As Winston Churchill famously said at the height of World War II, when he was working 18-hour days, "I'm too busy. I have no time for worry." The key here is that the effectiveness of staying busy is directly proportional to the purposefulness of the activity. Mindless distraction is a temporary fix. Engaged, meaningful work is a cure because it rebuilds self-worth and creates a positive future. rather than just ignoring a negative present. Take the story of Chef Massimo Bottura. His restaurant, Osteria Francescana, is now a 3 Michelin star establishment, twice named the best in the world. But for the first 6 years, it was a spectacular failure. He was deconstructing and reimagining classic Italian dishes. And in Modena, the heartland of Italian tradition, this was seen as sacrilege. A top critic wrote a devastating review telling people, "Don't go there." He was accused of poisoning people with his ideas, and the police even came to inspect his kitchen. The restaurant was almost always empty. He was on the verge of quitting, consumed with worry about failure and criticism. But instead of succumbing, he and his wife Laura decided to persevere. He poured every ounce of his energy into his work. He became obsessed with his craft, with telling the stories of his region through food, with pushing the boundaries of his art. He crowded out the worry with relentless, purposeful action. His busyness wasn't just a distraction. It was an immersion in his passion. This purposeful action is what starves worry of the oxygen it needs to survive. Chapter 4. The Secret Compliment, Deflecting Criticism. So what about that criticism Chef Bottura faced? How do we handle the negative feedback, the unjust attacks, the trolls in our comments section? For this, Carnegie offers a powerful mental reframe, summed up in a blunt maxim: nobody kicks a dead dog. Think about it. Unjust criticism is often a perverse, backhanded compliment. It means you are alive, you are relevant, you are achieving something significant enough to make others stand up and take notice. The reason the critics were so vicious towards Massimo Bottura was precisely because he wasn't a dead dog. He was vibrantly alive, challenging tradition, and creating something new and provocative. Carnegie wrote this in the 1942nd, but has there ever been a time when this advice was more essential? In the digital age, we are surrounded by criticism. Anyone can leave a negative comment, a 1-star review, or a critical tweet. It can feel constant and overwhelming. Modern interpreters of Carnegie's work have a great phrase for this: don't return the boomerang. When you engage, when you criticize back, you put the other person on the defensive and you escalate the conflict. The critical comment comes flying back at you. This principle is a powerful tool for emotional regulation. It severs the link between external validation and your own internal self-worth. By reframing criticism, you reclaim your emotional autonomy. You have a choice. You can internalize the negativity and let it fester into worry, or you can use this principle to see it for what it often is: just background noise generated by your own forward motion. So there we have it. 4 foundational keys from Dale Carnegie to build a worry-proof mind. First, the power of today. Live in day-tight compartments. Like Chris Nikic, focus on getting just 1% better today. Second, the fear-dissolving formula. Analyze the worst, accept it, and then work to improve upon it. Like Chris Hadfield, build competence to conquer fear. Third, the law of substitution. Crowd out worry with purposeful, meaningful action. Like Massimo Bottura, pour your energy into your craft. And fourth, the secret compliment. Reframe unjust criticism. Remember, they don't kick a dead dog. Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is not to master all of this overnight. It's much simpler. For the next 24 hours, just one single day type compartment. I want you to pick just one of these 4 ideas and consciously apply it. Maybe you'll catch yourself worrying about next month and gently bring your focus back to what you can do today. Maybe you'll take 10 minutes to write down a nagging fear and analyze it using the 3-step formula. Maybe you'll choose to immerse yourself in a hobby instead of dwelling on a problem. Or maybe you'll see a negative comment online and simply choose to see it as a sign of relevance and scroll on by. Just one small action. You've done the conscious work. You've planted the seeds. Now, it's time to let go. As you get ready for sleep, allow these ideas to settle. Let your mind do its remarkable work overnight. The next voice you'll hear will be here to guide you into a state of deep, restorative rest. It is time to rest. Let the day and its worries fade. As you feel your body sinking into peace. Relax completely. Letting all tension melt away. You are safe and at ease. You have done enough. The past is gone. And the future can wait. There is only this moment, this breath. Breathe in calm and breathe out tension. There is nothing to solve tonight. Now is the time for your mind and body to heal and recharge. Trust in your resilience. You can handle whatever comes. Let negativity flow past you and choose to focus on one small blessing from your day. Letting gratitude fill you with warmth. Now, simply allow yourself to drift deeper into sleep. No effort is needed. Your mind is quiet. Your body is relaxed. Sleep is healing you. there is nothing left to do but rest. Be at peace.